Good morning, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Frank and Charlie. Good day from the Aussies, as always. Let's bring this forward a little bit, guys. There we go. Perfect. Hi, Joss. Morning, mate. We'll make a start in the next few minutes, guys. Make sure, as per the post you had yesterday, please can you make sure you have 2 tennis balls, if possible, or 2 softballs. Definitely at least 1 tennis ball for the drill we're going to do at the start. And you need at least 3 cones, or 5 cones, sorry, not 3 cones, 5 cones, or 5 objects of any sort. And make sure you hold the ball in your hockey stick as well. Okay, so we'll make a start. First of all, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. We're going to start with a warm exercise, as we always do. And this one you need your 1 cone or object, and you also now need your tennis ball. Okay. I also stated earlier in the week that it would be good to do with a partner, but I'll explain more with that later on. Okay, so just to demonstrate, I've got, Frank and I'll try, and I will definitely try. We've got our orange cone, okay, to my left-hand side, alright? And I'm going to stand upright next to my orange cone. Okay, the further this cone is away, the harder this exercise is, okay? So I'm going to start here upright. I'm going to hold my tennis ball in my right hand. Okay, I'm going to hold it head height in line with my head here, okay? All I'm then going to do is I'm going to drop this ball, okay, and I have to touch that cone and get back to the ball with it only allowed to bounce once. Okay, so when I drop that ball, I have to be able to drop it, and I have to touch that cone and get back to catching that ball with it only bouncing once. Okay, so if I give it a go, alright, I'm going to set myself up. Obviously, I don't want you to start really low. Make sure you stand upright, so it makes it a bit harder. Okay, start with it in line with my head. Okay, I'm going to drop, touch, and catch the ball before it bounces twice. Okay, so again, I'm here, drop, touch, and catch the ball. Now, as you see, that's quite easy because the cone's actually quite close to my feet, all right? So if I take a step further away, all right, suddenly, in line with my head again, okay, here, it's a little bit harder to get it back across to that ball, okay? If you have more space, by all means, make it much, much bigger, so you can stand all the way over to here, okay? You could drop the ball, and then you've really got to work hard to get all the way across. The key for this one, guys, is once I've touched that cone, I've got to stay nice and low to get back across to pick up the ball. Okay, notice my body position, so if I just do it in slow motion, as I drop the ball and touch that cone here, notice my body position here when I'm going back across. Feet wide apart, this is the hockey position. Okay, so I've dropped the ball, alright, I go quite far away, touch, just got to back across to catch it. Okay, give that a go for 1 minute. If you have a partner, okay, and you want to change it up a little bit, you can give the ball to your partner, okay, and your partner will drop the ball. So then obviously you can't move early, because you know when you're going to drop it, your partner's going to drop it instead. So you'll be looking at your partner, and as soon as they drop it, you've got to go and touch, and then get across to get the ball. Okay, give it a go on that side, and then once you've given it a few goes that side, just swap over and do it with your left hand instead. So left hand, okay, and then we're dropping, touching, getting across and catching. Okay, 1 minute on that, guys. Hi Joshy, how you doing, mate? Joshy with that wonderful piece of skill, which I still can't do, by the way, Joshy, so I have no idea how you've managed to do that. Okay, so while I'm warming up, we're going to have these 3 cones now, and as you can see I've made a little bit of a triangle, okay? So I've got my first cone here to the left, got another cone to my right, and then going further forward again I've got another cone at the top, so I've just made a little bit of a triangle, okay? And then I've got a little blue marker back here, but that's just for me, just to know where I'm starting each time. Okay, so I'm going to set myself up again, as always, in the hockey position, so move a bit further forward, in the hockey position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a triple drag. Okay, so I'm going to drag once, drag twice, and 3 times to the top cone. Okay, so the whole time I'm doing this, as I'm dragging across, I'm keeping, okay, my stick on the ball. Alright, so I'm hardly making any noise at all. Alright, drag, drag, drag to the top. Okay? What's key here is what I'm doing with my feet. Okay, I'm not taking loads of little steps. Alright, I'm not right on top of the ball. Okay, I'm letting the ball go until I need to take a step forward because the ball's a bit too far away from me. So then I take a step forwards, I drag and I can take another step forwards. Okay? Once you've done it forwards, and then obviously like I've just shown you, I want you to do it then backwards as well. Okay? So we're going backwards and forwards in the triangle. Alright? So I'm dragging, 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 back, back, and back. Okay? Well, it's a triple drag, guys. So just moving forwards with the ball, keeping our stick on the ball, getting comfortable, also dragging it forwards, but also coming backwards as well. Okay? If that's too easy and you're having a little pause in between each one, I challenge you to see if you can drag the ball by only taking 1 touch on each one. What I mean by that is, instead of having to take another touch to drag the ball each time, okay, instead, I want you to take 1 touch on each one. So it's there, 1, 1, 1. Okay? Every single time I'm taking a touch on the ball's dragging. Okay? We're doing that triangle, that zigzag motion, but I'm always just taking 1 touch on each cone. Going forwards, and then going straight back. Okay, so I always get to the top cone, and go straight back on myself as well. It's a little bit of a workout. Concentrate on obviously keeping your feet out of the way, that is the key. Alright, always want that ball to be out in front of me. So when I drag this ball back, look how I move my foot out of the way for the ball to move into that space. Okay? 1 minute left on that, guys. And obviously, guys, it goes without saying, once we've given that a go, we just swap sides. We bring the middle cone across, and then we move the other cones just to the other side, so we do the triangle the other way. Just make sure you can see my cones. Might have to bring this one a bit further back. Okay, just using this as my starter tag. Okay, so again I'm now doing it the other way. Okay, same drill, but slightly different feel as I'm dragging the ball. And now as you can see, it's my right foot coming forwards first. Stroke the ball back. Okay, just trying to keep those feet out of the way. You want to make this harder, okay, you make this wider. Okay, don't make it too wide because I don't actually want you running to each tag. Okay, but if you want to drag the ball wider, I know you can't see my cones here. Okay, but I've made it as wide as possible. Okay, I've really now got to work the ball all the way across. Okay, look how my arms are now coming away from my body. Okay, so it makes it much, much, much more difficult. Alright, so if you want to make it harder, make a bigger triangle. Okay, last minute on that, just so you make sure you do it the other way as well, then we'll move on to the next drill. Okay, so we're going to move on. Alright, we're now going to go into a little bit of passing. So we've done loads of dribbling over the last few weeks. Being inside and being indoors is a perfect opportunity to work on your hands. Okay, you know, small spaces, not having to break anything, hopefully. Practice your hands, practice your hand speed, so hopefully when we get outside eventually, which is coming soon, our hands will be there, our hand-eye coordination will still be there, and our dribbling will be up to scratch on speed. Okay, one thing we are lacking at the moment is our passing. Alright, it's really difficult to find ways of working on your passing accuracy, so this is better done in an open space. Okay, take this into the garden with you, take it over to the field with you, but it's a really good way of working on your passing accuracy. Okay, and it's better done with a partner. Alright, now I'm not going to show you it in full. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to do the basics, and you can obviously adapt this how you see fit. Okay, so I've got 2 cones here. Alright, and I've made a gate out of 2 cones. And if you've got a partner with you, one of you will stand to one side of the gate, and the other one will stand on the other side of the gate. Okay, so you imagine my partner's out of shot over there. Okay, I've also put a tennis ball, all right, on each cone. Okay, it's best to use a tennis ball because they're soft and they're easily knocked off. All right, and all I've got to do, okay, is I've just got to pass the ball through that gate. Okay, push passing only. All right, try and pass the ball to my partner. Now my gate's obviously starting off quite big, so if you find this challenging, okay, make the gate big. Okay. Also, if you want to make it more challenging, you can make the gate smaller. And the idea is to get the ball through the gate without obviously missing the gate, but not knocking off the tennis balls. Alright, we don't want to knock off the tennis balls. So if you hit the cone, it goes through the middle, but it doesn't knock off the tennis ball, that's fine. But if it hits the cone, goes through the middle, but a tennis ball comes off, okay, that doesn't count. Also, if you miss the gate, obviously that doesn't count. Obviously, this is really easy for me because it's really small, alright, and it's much better done over a longer distance. So if you want to make it harder, do it as far away as you can. But the key things I'm trying to work on here, okay, is my passing accuracy, alright. How do I get accurate with my pass? The first most important thing is I have to take a big step forwards with my left foot. Okay, we're not going into a lunge, okay, but if I don't take a step forward with my left foot, the whole pass is just off my hands. Okay, which is okay over a really short distance, but if you're going over a longer distance, you have to step towards where you're trying to pass the ball to. Okay, so notice as I step forwards here, the ball's now in line with my back foot. Okay, the second thing you want to make sure, as I pass that ball, I do not bring my stick back. Okay, so I take a step forwards, but I keep my stick where it is at the back of the ball, touching the ball. Okay, my right hand's halfway down the stick. Okay, my left hand's still at the top. I'm taking a step forward and then I'm passing the ball in a straight motion through to my partner. Okay. Now I want you to look at this body position here. I'm still nice and low, my left foot's come forward, my hands are still apart, but now I'm pointing where I want that pass to go. Okay, that's the third most important thing. So the first one is the step. The second one is my stick stays exactly where it is at the back of the ball. And the third thing is as I pass that ball through, I'm pointing where I want that ball to go. Okay? A lot of you is when you're passing the ball, okay, we either don't take that step forward and we just pass it off our hands, okay? Or sometimes put our hands too high up the stick so haven't got any power on the push. Alright, or we play a pass and our stick comes round here like this. Okay, and that can affect the accuracy, especially over a longer distance. Remember guys, you want to make this harder, go much further away from each other. If you're on your own, that's fine. You can still aim to get it through the gate and then go and get the ball afterwards. Or if you've got multiple balls, you can keep trying it. Every time you get the ball through that gate, okay, I want you to make the cones smaller. Alright, so I've got it through. Okay, so I'm going to make the cone slightly smaller, so now I've got a smaller gap to try and get the ball through. Alright, again, taking a step forward with my left foot, pushing the ball, pointing where I want that ball to go. If it goes through 3 times again, we make it even smaller. And eventually, I've got a tiny little gap there that I'm trying to get the ball through, okay, without knocking off the tennis balls. If I get it wrong, what could happen is I knock off one of the balls, that won't count. The ball went through the middle, but I knocked off the tennis ball. Okay? So remember, a gate, 2 of you, or if you're just on your own, that's fine. Far away as you can. Okay, obviously don't go miles away, otherwise that's a different pass. Make the gate bigger to make it easier, smaller to make it harder. You're just trying to push the ball through, okay, and accuracy going through that gate. Okay? 1 or 2 minutes on that, guys. See how small you can get that gate. I want to see if you can get it as small as possible. Okay, send in your pictures if you can literally get it almost touching, and see how challenging it is to get it through that gap. Also, it doesn't matter if you don't have tennis balls. Okay, if you don't have 2 or whatever, just do it without. All right, you'll know if you got it through or not. Okay, for those of you that are struggling to maybe stop the ball, okay, so if you have got a partner and you're struggling to stop the ball as they pass it back towards you, okay, I'm just going to go through 2 things that I need you to make sure that you are doing. Okay, the first thing is, whenever you play that pass and your follow through comes through and points at the target, get yourself back into the hockey position with your stick on the floor. Okay, I see so many people playing passes and then they stand directly upright to watch where that pass has gone. And actually 9 times out of 10, especially at a higher level, that ball comes straight back at you, okay, really, really quickly, all right? So we've got to make sure we play that pass, and then we're ready back into the hockey position to stop the ball again, okay? The second thing is get low when you're stopping it. If you're really struggling to stop the ball upright, okay, get more of the stick on the floor. So look how my left hand now comes down, so I've got more of the stick on the floor, okay? Yeah, and try and stop the ball out in front of you, all right? A lot of us, when I saw you play before, a lot of us are actually turning our bodies. Okay, we're stopping the ball to the side. Okay, the problem is I'm now not looking up where I need to go. Okay, so see if you can stop the ball. Get your hands away from your body. Loads of space in front of me here. Okay, hands away from your body, and we're stopping the ball in front of us. Okay, do not have that left hand tucked in here. Get that left hand away from your body. Okay, look how my arm extends away so I can stop the ball. If you don't do that, what will happen is the ball will hit your stick and roll into your feet. Okay, so get that left hand away. 30 seconds, guys, and then we'll go on to the last drill. Okay, so the final drill, guys. Okay, we're going to have 3 cones in a vertical line, and you're going to stand at the back of these 3 cones. Okay, so So if there's two of you, you can both do this at the same time. You don't need loads of space, all right? But if there's just one of you, just a vertical line, 3 cones, okay, and you're standing at the back, all right? Now, for those of you that had online sessions with me this previous week, we have done this, but I'm also going to show you a little add-on that you guys can do at the end, and the other guys can do it as well if you find this a little bit too easy, okay? So we're going to practice lifting the ball, okay, over the cones, okay? And I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing it. One, slightly standard, okay, still going to be quite difficult, but the other way is a lot more advanced, okay? Something for you to go and practice for next week, okay? So, set myself up at the back, okay, and I'm going to lift the ball, okay, getting nice and low, bringing my left hand across my body. I'm going to lift the ball over the cones like so, okay. Alright, the keys are, I've got to make sure I get my left knee, okay, especially on this side, my left knee down, nice and low. Okay, on this side I've got to make sure my right knee's down, nice and low. Okay, also I need to make sure my hands get to my knee, okay, either lower than my knee or just in line with my knee, so my hands are low as well. There's no point trying to lift the ball if your hands are all the way up here and this isn't bent. Okay, imagine there's something underneath the ball that you need to get. Okay, so I'm scooping underneath the ball there. Alright, watch here as I'm getting nice and low, I'm trying to look underneath the ball, my hands are low, my knees bent, I'm scooping underneath the ball there. Okay, once you get good at it, you'll eventually be able to do it quite continuously. Okay, so we're going up and over each time. Alright? Also make sure, okay, this is really, really important, that when you're trying to lift that ball, it's not outside of your feet. And what I mean by that is, okay, this is my foot, my left foot here, the ball is not past the line of my left foot. Okay, so the ball's not too far away from me. Because now, I can get as low as I want, but I can't quite reach the ball. Okay, so I really struggle to reach it. Even more important on my right hand side, okay, I can't quite get behind the ball, it's really going to struggle to lift the ball over the cones. Okay, so give that a go, see if you can keep that continuous, see if you can keep that going. And then I'll go on to the last advanced one that's going to be quite difficult for some of you. Okay, so finally guys, we're going to go on to the last drill and we're going to find another way of going over these cones and we're going to do a squeeze. Okay, now those of you that are doing this on a really hard surface, so if you're doing it on laminate or tiles or on a pavement outside, this is going to be really difficult. Okay, so it's designed to do on a sort of soft surface. Also grass is going to be quite difficult because the ball actually just going into the ground. Okay, we need quite a bounce surface. So carpet's okay, alright, but when you get onto the Astro, you can really try and practice this well as well, especially those bouncy ones. Alright? All we're going to do is we're going to set up, okay, with the last cone, alright, between my feet. Okay, if you need to make it slightly bigger so you've got 2 cones in front of you, then make sure you do that. Okay? I'm then going to put the ball, so this is the line of my right foot here. Okay, the ball's in line with my right foot. Okay, I'm going to put the ball away, out to the side. Okay? And then all I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to put my right hand slightly higher, and I'm going to try and hit the top of the ball so it hits the ground and bounces over the cone. It's called a squeeze. Okay, I'm squeezing the ball into the ground and it's coming over the top. This is really challenging. Okay, so those of you that had me for an online session last week in a one-to-one, alright, we didn't quite get onto this, and this is my challenge for you this week. Okay, I'm trying to squeeze the ball over the top of the cones. Okay, so my right hand's slightly higher up my stick, not too high, not together, but slightly higher. Okay. The cone's in between my feet, the ball's outside of my foot, so I've got loads of space, and then we'll try and hit the top of the ball, so it squeezes into the ground and bounces over, okay, like so. Okay, so you watch it again, alright, top of the ball, and it bounces over, okay, the cones, alright. Now, what's also important here, okay, is where my hands are, alright. Obviously, I'm not trying to get my hands really low to the ground, but equally, if you get them too upright, what you'll end up doing is actually hitting the ball and it won't lift. Okay, it has to go into the ground, alright? So don't get too low, I'm trying to hit sort of the back to the right hand side of the ball, Okay, try and hit the ball on the top, alright, and bounce it over the cones there. Okay. It's quite difficult to do on carpet sometimes, alright, but I promise you, if we can get that right, okay, when we go onto the AstroTurf, you'll see it really work well. And it doesn't need to go that high, okay? That's the width of the stick. So if that stick's on the floor, okay, it's not that high, alright? It only has to go this far off the ground just to bounce it and squeeze it over somebody's stick. So you could be doing your skills here, alright? We could drag the ball through, stop, squeeze over the top, okay? We have the ball through there, squeeze over the top. We'll do if I catch that one. Get there we go. And squeezing it over somebody's stick and catching it on the other side, okay? So guys, we had a warm-up exercise, just for those of you that have joined us recently, warm-up exercise. We had a tennis ball, cone to our left-hand side, we drop the ball, touch the cone, get across the catch. Okay, make it harder, we make it further away. Drop the ball, get to the cone, get across the catch. Okay. We then went on to our triangle. Okay, create a triangle out of cones, and then all we did there is we made sure that when we were dragging the ball, we were keeping our feet out of the way, especially when we were moving backwards with it. Taking one touch on each cone. Okay. We then went into our passing exercise where we created a gate. Okay, we had tennis ball on each cone and trying to get the ball through the gate without obviously knocking the tennis balls off and without missing the gate. Okay, concentrating on big step forward with our left foot. Okay, keeping our stick on the ball, not bringing it back, pointing where the ball's gone. Okay, and then our final exercise, 3 cones in a line. And we're just trying to lift the ball over the barrier, over somebody's stick, okay? And then obviously advancing to a squeeze where we hit the back of the ball, okay? Squeezing the ball over the top. Lots of skills to get your teeth into today, guys. Next week we'll be going on to a little bit more of passing, okay? So I want to keep going with some passing as much as we can. I hope you all have a great Sunday. Make sure you go onto our YouTube channel, H4UA. There's loads of videos on there. All of these sessions are on there. Now's the time. We've done 4. You can start making up your own sort of sessions. Loads of different skills for you to practice. And I want to see you guys doing it. So send in your videos, send in your skills, and let's have a look at that. Anyway, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.